the dice stay hot. Let me shoot a 7 with every shot. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! I'm gonna give it everything I've got. Lady luck, please let the...
Welcome to Vegas Talk Radio, the Internet radio show about the news, people, entertainment, opportunities, and events in the best resort and vacation destination and fastest growing city in America, Las Vegas, Nevada. If it's worth your time and money, you'll hear about it here. And now, here's your host, Charlie Bass.
Well, on today's show, we have a very special guest. We have a guy who won the World Championship of Entertainment, which is really called America's Got Talent, and he is one of the most creative acts you've ever seen because he combines ventriloquism with singing, which very few people can do. Actually, I can't do that. But Terry Fator is the best you have ever seen at this world. So, Terry, how are you doing today?
Man, I am fantastic. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, here I win America's Got Talent. I'm now headlining in Las Vegas. The greatest dreams that any entertainer could possibly have happened to me. So I feel good today.
Well, let me ask you a question. I guess for entertainers who listen to this type of, how hard is it to get onto, first of all, get onto a television show, let alone win it? But how did you find out about this competition and what got you going on it?
Well, I found out about it just like anybody else would. I mean, I read an article about it in a paper, and they said, oh, you know, America's Got Talent. There's a new show called America's Got Talent. They're doing auditions, and I was in an area, the first year I was in an area where they were doing the auditions, and my attitude was, you know, I just don't want to do this. I'm a professional entertainer. I was entertaining small venues, and but you know, I wasn't doing anything major, and I wasn't getting tons of money for it. But I said, I'm a professional entertainer. I just don't want to stoop to that level, you know, of having to go stand in a cattle call and do all this stuff. And then I watched the show, and the ventriloquist was on there, got on 2 episodes, and it really changed his career. He got on David Letterman, and he was getting all kinds of national attention, and people started coming up to me and saying, did you see the ventriloquist on America's Got Talent this year? So that kind of made me sit up and go, maybe I should do this. You know, it'll raise my notoriety. People will know who I am. Hopefully I'll get a little bit more money for my shows. More people start coming. So I just went to Los Angeles when I was over there when they doing some shows when they were doing their auditions, and I auditioned like anybody else and got the part. And as far as how hard it is for any entertainer to do it, it depends on how good your act is. If you have a really good act, you're almost guaranteed at least a shot at auditioning in front of the judges, or a really bad act. So it's going to be one or the other. Yeah, and it's funny when I auditioned, they asked me if I would go and do interviews afterwards, and this was before I even went before the judges. This was the very first audition for the producers. So I walk in and I said, they want to do an interview, and the lady said, well, congratulations, either you're really, really good or you're really, really bad. And I said, well, I know I'm not really, really bad. And she goes, well, congratulations.
That's great. So you decided really at the last minute just to go ahead and give it a shot? And
I did, you know, and it was one of those things where I thought, you know, what could it hurt? I mean, obviously, you could get up there and flub up and really hurt your career by suddenly doing so horribly in front of millions of people. But I didn't really have much fear of that because I've been doing it now professionally for about 25 years. And I could literally do this stuff in my sleep, some of these routines. So, I know my commitment to quality and my commitment to professionalism. I knew there was no way I was going to get up on television and screw it up. I just knew it. I mean, I had that much confidence in myself as an entertainer. So I knew I'd get up and put my best foot forward because it's what I do every time I set foot on stage.
Right.
So,
now, did you start out as a ventriloquist or did you start out as a singer?
Well, kind of both. I definitely started out as a singer. I remember being 3 years old. One of my very first memories, in fact, is when I was 3 years old, and I was standing on a table at a lunchroom at our church, and I was singing. And I remember looking and seeing the faces of people smiling and clapping and laughing. And I remember thinking at 3, wow, I like this. You know, I wanted a lot more of this. And then when I was 10, I found a book on how to be a ventriloquist in my school library, and it fascinated me. And I thought, wow, I don't know any other ventriloquists. That sounds like fun. So I read the book and learned the techniques, and then I bought a little puppet at Sears and started doing just the ventriloquism. And then I had a band. I started a band when I was about 20 years old and started traveling all over the country. And what I would do is I would do impressions of singers, and then I would pull out the ventriloquism and just do comedy routines. And I never thought to do both. I never thought to actually do impressions and ventriloquism until about 2.5 years ago. My manager heard me doing Garth Brooks, and he said, "Could you have a puppet do that?" And it was like a revelation. I thought, I don't know, I guess I could. So I worked on it, and sure enough, I could. And my manager said, "Man, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen." He said, "You've got to get that in your show. You've got to make that a part where every puppet does impressions." And it was interesting. My career just exploded at that time. People were so fascinated by it. And I did not think I was going to win America's Got Talent. I figured I was going to kind of get a couple episodes, but obviously people really fell in love with the fact that I can do ventriloquism and impressions at the same time through the puppets, and it was wonderful.
Well, it's definitely a unique act. I mean, because I've seen obviously tons of impressionists, and I've seen ventriloquists, but I've never seen anybody ever put them together, and I think that's the unique piece of talent that you have that very few people could even think of doing, let alone pull it off and do it as good as you do it.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. It's a unique gift, and I'm pleased that I have the gift, and I believe that I've taken that gift and done the best I possibly can with it, which is really what all of us should do. To find the gifts that are in us, and just do the best we can with those gifts. I think that's all that's expected of us. And
now you got a gig in Vegas, I hear.
I do. I've been dreaming of this since I was a teenager. One day having my name in lights, one day being in Las Vegas. I mean, what entertainer doesn't dream of being in Las Vegas, being a headliner?
Right.
And, I said early on, years ago when I found out about, I know a lot of places four-wall, and you'll go in and rent a room and everything, and I just said to myself, I'm not going to four-wall. I'm going to wait until someone in Vegas wants me to perform there and asks me to perform and pays me to perform there, because I just never wanted to deal with all the nonsense of the renting the room and all that stuff. And it happened exactly as I envisioned it. So it's really an amazing experience.
Now, you had your first show here in Vegas, was it back in September, October?
Yes, October 14th and 15th.
And you sold out both shows like immediately.
I did.
And the Hilton just couldn't wait to get you back to sign you to a big contract. Now, how much are you going to be playing in 2008?
Okay, in 2008, I will be performing one weekend a month for 6 months, and it's going to start in January. I'm doing December 31st, too, and we're doing something that's never been done in Vegas. We're going to do an early show at 6 o'clock p.m. on New Year's Eve. Now, our purpose for this is because we want families to be able to come out and celebrate the New Year with laughter and holiday songs and all kinds of fun stuff. Then, when the kids start getting sleepy, you take the kids home, get a babysitter, and you can go out and bring in the New Year at your favorite club. And so it's really kind of something brand new, and I think it's going to work extremely well, because who doesn't want to go out as a family to bring in the New Year and celebrate the New Year? But, what kids really are going to stay up until midnight?
Right.
So we're kind of the best of both worlds. We're getting some truly family entertainment early on New Year's, and then once the kids get tired, you just leave them home with a babysitter and go on out and celebrate the New Year the way you want to celebrate it. And I'm so excited about doing that. And they also booked December 3rd, which is almost sold out. It's not completely sold out. It's very close to being sold out. So that's
right around the corner.
Exciting to be selling out Las Vegas. My goodness. It's just a dream come true for me.
Well, it's it is. I mean, and you're in a wonderful room too. I mean, that's one of the best rooms in the city, and that's a big room too. I mean, if you're selling that room,
it is. It's like 1,800 people, and yet it feels intimate enough. And, of course, we have big screens so that even if you're way, way in the back, you can see my lips up close. Because people, of course, they want to make sure my lips aren't moving. So we have a camera that stays nice and close, so even if you're way back. But the feel of that room, there's so much history. I mean, I'm standing on the very same stage that Tony Bennett performs on, and that Barry Manilow performs on, that Elvis Presley performed on. And it's just, wow, you can just feel that energy. You can feel the entertainment energy in that room, and what a spectacular experience it is. It's the greatest single experience of my entire career, and that's saying a lot, because I have a 25-year career, and playing at the Las Vegas Hilton is the pinnacle and the best and the most wonderful experience I've ever had in all 25 years.
Well, I congratulate you on getting into Vegas, because it's so difficult to get here, and it's difficult to stay, and to be asked back that quickly, I mean, that really says a lot.
Well, thank you so much.